Hi, thank you for joining. Good evening, everyone. Good afternoon. Good evening, good afternoon. Can you hear me? Please let me know if you can hear me. Hope you can hear me. Please let me know in the comment area if you can hear me. Can everyone hear me? Yay, thank you. Thank you. Thank you very much for joining. How's your day been? How's your weekend been? Thank you for joining, everyone. Thank you. Thank you. Just trying to buy time for others to join. Please share where are you joining us from today? What part of the world are you joining us from? Let's get to know one another. Where are you joining us from today? Hi, Anu. Thank you for joining. Please share where you're joining us from. And those that will be joining later, please still drop where you're joining us from when you join. Still drop where you're joining us from when you join. Coach Lara is in the building. Whoop whoop. I've not even brought you up. I'm seeing your glow, Coach. I'm seeing your glow already. All right, so I'm just going to bring Coach Lara in so we can jump right in because we have so much to talk about today. Coach, good evening, Gloria. How are you?
I'm good. Thank you so much for having me here.
Thank you. Thank you. Thank you for agreeing to be a part of this. I know what your schedule is like, and I'm like, hey, getting these dates. I know the mountains that we had to cross. Thank you. Thank you so much. Thank you. Thank you. I'm so grateful. Thank you. How are you? How's your week been?
Busy,
I know. I know. I know. I know. I know.
A lot.
Thank God. Exactly. Thank God. So we'll just jump right in so that we can. I don't want us to miss any information. I don't want us to miss. I want this discussion to be very hot today, as always. So just jump right in so we can get to talk about a lot as much as possible, right?
Okay.
So today we're talking about understanding how childhood trauma affects in us in our relationships, right? How the way you've been raised, programs you or what it does to you. Because a lot of people just think their partners are the ones that have issues. A lot of people just think, oh, it's not me. She's the one that is not okay. He's the one that is not okay. And even at work, relationships generally, it doesn't even have to be just romantic relationships, but just general in building relationships with people, friendships, every type of relationship, right? Because I've seen that, in life, everything that we're praying to God for is a man that God is going to use to answer our prayers. But if we don't even have the capacity to relate with people in our businesses, everything that we want to do, the money that we're all looking for. And I I heard recently, I was a message I was listening to recently that said they don't spend money in heaven. So this financial breakthrough that you are looking for, money is not going to pour down from heaven. Is first of all, he has given you the power to create wealth. But if you don't even understand that power through the men that he's going to put before you, how do you create the wealth? So because I know that before I went through all of this journey myself, I had a business and I didn't know how to market my business. I just thought, oh, because what I'm selling is fantastic, everybody will come and meet me automatically. I didn't know the implication of that. I'll just sit down and say, well, I'm posting, I'm doing this, and nothing is happening. I didn't know the effect of this. So I'm just trying to, have this conversation so that people are more enlightened, people are more, become aware. Because like I always say, how do you solve a problem you don't even know exists, right? So I'm just going to jump right in. First question for you today. Could tell us a bit about your childhood, like your early experiences and the environment that you grew up in. Let's start from the beginning, from the roots.
Okay, so I grew up in a small town called Ota, Songo Ota. Because I said Ota, as if it's in America. And I'm the first in my family, in the family of four children. So my parents were very religious, especially my mom, and they
Mm.
are very conservative, you know. So I don't know. I came out very extroverted. So I think that my parents, I think both of them are pretty introverted. So I think that threw them off balance. Like, who is this
From
girl?
where?
What, like, how? Where? So I heard stories that I talked a lot when I was younger. Those children that would be singing nursery rhyme the most and stuff like that. So I picked up interest in joining a lot of activities early since my primary school days, debates, all those kind of things
Mm.
and stuff like that. So but I realized as grew older that my parents didn't understand me because I wanted to do everything. I wanted to be everywhere. So they didn't, especially my dad, like, why would the child, be this vocal? Why would the
Mm.
child just be talking and say she wants to sing, she wants to talk? So now I would say that if my child is like that, I can channel our energy properly, maybe, piano lessons, different things, debates, and all of that. But of course, back in the day now, back 40
Mm-hmm.
years ago, what did they know?
That's true.
So, but I think my dad, I was a daddy's girl for a while, you know. I was the first child, a girl. Then I think my grandmother only had four or boys. So I
Okay.
was spoiled rotten. I won't even lie to you. I was very, very spoiled. I used to say that I'm those people that say, oh, firstborn, hug them today, firstborn girl. It doesn't apply to me.
Mm.
Till today, I don't have any kata of anybody I'm
First
carrying.
one.
You get so, but I would say I was pretty spoiled,
Mm.
by my parents. There was a time it was my dad really like loved me. I didn't like my mom for a very long time. I thought she was my stepmom.
Why?
You know, I think she was just at the time mean to me, and I think I've seen it now when one parent seemed to be what do you call it now? When one parent sees that the other parent is overindulging the child, so the other parent kind of steps up in discipline
So want to balance it,
to want
but
to
they now
balance
always overdo it.
exactly. So I think that was what happened to me. So I think I was spoiled by my dad, but my mom, I just used to tell people I think she's my stepmom. I think my mom is dead.
Mm.
Then funnily it switched at some point. I think when I became a teenager, my dad started getting impatient with me. I didn't know how to do any house chores. When they say go and blend pepper, I would throw the pepper away. And my mom, being the kind of woman that grew up in, those days, most of them didn't grow up with their parents.
Mm-hmm.
So both parents didn't grow up with their parents, my dad and my mom. So,
Right.
but it showed up differently in both of them. So I kind of think subconsciously, my mom said, no child of mine will go through what I went through.
Went through.
But my dad kind of felt I need to teach them what I learned. So I'm telling you, we didn't have any of this conversation. That
Yeah.
was my own,
Mm-hmm.
conclusion from all of the things that happened.
Mm-hmm.
So my mom, at some point, I think when I became a teenager, my mom changed. So my dad was meaner. My dad would beat me. My mom would be like, Emma shele sheloju, Emma noloju, Emma shekini kon. So that also is not a good thing. You get, because it reduced my, let's say, respect or reverence for my dad. Because my mom would rebuke my dad in my presence.
In your presence. Mm.
So I think that's not a good thing. Anyways, by the time I was 17, I had gone rogue. I was a very troublesome child, Tinuke. I prayed till today that I don't want to have a child like me because I gave my parents problem. My mom arrested me with police when I was 17.
Wow.
Yes, and when I say I went rogue, I was just stubborn. That was it. I don't even know where I got it from. I just felt like you can't just tell me to do, I think it was the upbringing. They allowed me to do my will for a long time.
Then
And
they now wanted to curb it.
Yes, that's
They
what
were
happens.
rebelling.
So you not be like, Momo, it's in bad jail. She's getting spoiled. But of course, it's too late at this point in time. So I would, say what I wanted. My dad would want to beat me away, run away, not come home till night. They will look for me. My mom will be crying, "Hey, mommy, what mommy? Oh." I was just everything. I remember when I was in SS2, going to SS3, I'd spent my school fees that they gave me. So I didn't get results. I ran away to my uncle. Whoa. Okay. I don't
Problem
even know
child.
I was a problem child, and I
Oh my
was very
goodness.
brilliant. I was in church, in the choir. I was one that always led worship in house fellowship. So when people looked at me on the outside,
Hmm.
I was a poster child for, that parents liked, because I was outspoken. I was in church. But inside like this. At some point, my dad told my mom that he's sure that I'm not his child. Was no child of. So my dad didn't speak to me for about 1 year. I'll greet him, he'll never answer. So that was the kind of upbringing I had. It was very tumultuous. I think it was because of they just didn't know how to handle me. I was just a lot, I was, even if I'm the one saying so now, I was a lot for my parents. So, and because of their background, where they were coming from, they weren't used to a free-spirited child like me. They were very conservative, both of them disciplined people. So they just couldn't understand how. My mom took me to a lot of churches. She'll come in the middle of the night and lay hands on me. Oh, not on my watch. So she did a lot of that. And then I was also mean to my younger brothers. I have two younger brothers. I was so mean. Why? Because I felt like when I was becoming a teenager. So my younger brothers still today, they are very calm. They are the calmer version. In my family, they obeyed my parents more, especially my mom. So I was the challenger. You understand? So, so my mom would beat me or my dad. When they live like this, I'll beat the hell out of their children. Just them outside of the gate.
Oh my God.
I was a terrible child. Long story short. So, but unfortunately for me, fortunately or unfortunately, I was also very brilliant in school. I left secondary school at 14. I had, those children that had a lot of double promotions, like in primary school. So I think I was in JSS1 when I was 8 or 9 or so. I was just too young. So I really didn't, a lot of my classmates at the time were years ahead of me. So those ones were like maybe 17, 18, and they'll be saying, "Oh, my mom doesn't beat me again, or my parents don't beat me again." Me,
and you're wondering why.
So me, I'm wondering at 13, why are they beating me? So when they try to beat me, I start quoting Bible for my dad. I'll stay at the door and be like, because the Bible told you that, and then the man will run after me. I am out of the house. I'm telling you, So when I finished, so that was that. Then I finished at 14 plus. Of course, I was too young to go to university. Yes, and then my dad was broke, so he was like, I needed to work, So I was a teacher in a nursery school. The first one, I beat the hell out of one boy. They sacked me. Why are you sharing all of this?
We need to know, because we're going to get to the point where all of these things are. Yeah, that's why I like starting from the bottom. Like,
see, I'm imagining my husband listening to this. He'll be like, no wonder, because somebody cannot be like.
My goodness.
So I think the first job, I think that traumatized me for a while. Like, how can they sack me from my first job? Is this not what will happen to me for the rest of my life? So, but I got another one. And then I started earning money. So I think that shaped a different aspect of my life. I went from being the spoiled child to be, making money, being responsible, So I was a teacher. I was really nice to, some of the students. And then I got admission. So before I got admission, I think I was 17 or 17 plus at the time. Because I was, every time I was the youngest in any gathering I was. So I was in church, a big church, in the choir, singing. There were older people. So I had these family friends that we just met at the time. So because I didn't have any older one, I gravitated towards them fast, the older boys, So I just, anything they told me I did. So they had a friend at the time that, he started asking me out. I was just 17, I think. And so they advised me that, you are very feisty. This one is very calm, very cool boy. And it was not a boy. I was 17, he was 24. So he was 7 years older than me.
Wow.
Yeah. Wow. Because Tinuke, now I have a 21-year-old. And I'm thinking, if I hear him,
Oh my goodness.
so I started dating this guy. He was a cool man. We were in church, so we were just doing Christian. From the beginning, we had the conversation. We would not have sex. We calculated how many years it would take for us to get married. At the time, I remember we calculated 7 years. So that when I was 24, I would be ready to get married. And so we said we will not have sex. Every month, we will talk about the goals of the relationship. Long story short, we started, before I went to school, started kissing small, started touching small. Then I went to school. Then he would come over and stay over in school, And then one of those nights of, did he enter? Did he? No. And then I found out that I was 5 months and 2 weeks gone, and I had broken up with him. See, my story is like, it's like no problem. Because I don't want to say yes to another boy, but I now broke up with that one and found out that I was 5 months and 2 weeks gone.
Wow.
So that was where my life story that started.
Oh, by the way, I didn't share your story on. I purposely didn't share that. I don't want everybody to come and hear from the horse's mouth. So I didn't even talk about your story at all because I need everyone to understand how these things shape us, right?
Okay.
So with everything that you have shared now, before we even continue your story, right? In what way did it impact you? Like, so everything that you said about your parents not understanding, basically all of these things is just a temperament thing that parents need to understand now. Like, understand how temperament works, understand your child's love language, because we're not all the same. Even though same mother, same father, temperaments are not the same. Like, understand how to, so that you can raise your child according to their strengths and weaknesses, right?
Yeah.
Because that's one of the major things that I know that a lot of parents missed, and most of us don't realize the impact that it's had on us. So so a child like you, for example, the constant shut up, keep quiet, that's probably, if not for the work that you had to do, will have killed that part of you. The real you will have been suppressed, right? So, all right. So, in what ways do you think that this impacted your life decisions and your relationships?
Okay, so I was a rebel, whatever, at home. So I felt like, man, I could do anything. I could do whatever. But I didn't know that these things had impacted me. It was after I left home, I realized. So one of the things was that back then, it was always a one size fits all. If you mess up, they'll just beat you. That was shout at you. So I remember when I entered school, writing a letter to my dad that, no, it was before I entered the polytechnic. I think I was still in secondary school. I said they should stop beating me. That when he beats me, he brings out the wild animal in me. The animal. My dad showed my mom, almost of animal, meaning that your daughter said she's an animal. So even back then, I recognized that hitting me was not the way to get me to do anything. It just made me rebel more. It made me angry. It just made me feel like how dare you, kind of thing. So I think that one was a very wrong approach at the time. And then two, in my family, they had approval syndrome. I didn't find this out until later on, how it affected me. And when I said approval syndrome, like people who would not do anything until someone else approved of it. So my mom had told me that when she was pregnant with me, she had told my dad that she wanted us to bear names, we're Yoruba, with the prefix Ola something, Ola Sheikh, Ola Wole, Abi Ola Kole, and then my dad would be like, so that they will not think we have money. No. So you could see that mindset. So if we wanted to do anything at home, my dad would be like, no, Mr. Filolusi, what would this one? No, don't let them. So I used to rebel against it, like, I don't care, what's that? until I went outside my house and realized that that was how I was. If I wanted to do anything, I needed to ask at least 10 people
Mm.
for me to, be
Get
sure.
approval.
Yeah, because I needed to get an approval. It was even worse when, I went to another church by myself when I left home, and I had to go and look for people because the church was so where I was coming from was very conservative church. You couldn't wear some things, you couldn't do some things. So when I went to this new church, it was the free, and I'd always said I wanted freedom to do anything, but I really couldn't be free. So I went to look for people like mentors who would help me so that they could cage me, sort of. So you can imagine how that impacted me. You get what I mean? Then also the beating, the shouting, my mom, because my mom is a very Elma, God bless her soul. Tomorrow is her birthday.
Oh, nice.
So my mom was this, this controlling woman. She would just be like, "Who are you? You this tiny rat to be challenging me?" So she would, do anything. She would go to my room, lock me out. I used to listen to cassettes. I used to be, I was in the choir, so I listened to a lot of Christian music, bought cassettes. Then she would break everything into pieces. Do you understand? Lock me out of my room. I'm not wearing bra or pants for days. I'm telling you. So I had that hard upbringing. You understand? So there was no way you could teach me softness or you get. I just believed,
that was the way.
That was the way. You bring a hammer to kill an
hammer. So for someone like that, means for every glass there'll have been a corresponding boost. Like you can't talk to me anyhow.
Yes, so
and that would have been your normal. That would have been your normal. So that's what you were, and that's what you would take outside. That's what you know.
Yes, I was quick to defend myself. I was quick to, all of these things. I was just, So I think this ruled me for a long time. I lost relationships because of this. Because I don't take rubbish. In as much as I also had low self-esteem, identity crisis, and I was, people were dating me and anyhow. But I was still aggressive. So those two things can coexist. So I remember, a lot of women think that, if I'm aggressive, I can talk, I can give it back to you. It means I'm confident. That's not confidence.
No.
That's not confidence. That's not self-esteem. You get. So I had this. So even in the relationship, I will not break up with you, but I will show you Pepe. You get. I'm one of those girls that will not. I will show you Pepe, but I will not leave you. You get. So but long story short, I had low self-esteem. So when I went to school and got pregnant, I had my child. Everything just came back. Do you understand? That just finished me. You get, like, who do you think you are? You understand? You that you think you thought you were all of that. Look at it. Look at where your life, look at where you're ended or whatever.
You talk about what your dad used to say to you that time. Please share. Tell us.
Yes. So at the time when I had my baby, then I went home. At first it forbade me from coming home. He didn't want to see the child. Then after plenty. So I had my child in school. I never went home. Yeah, my mom used to come every Sunday.
Wow.
So I trusted, like,
at 17.
No, I was 18 19. Plus, almost 19 at the time.
Wow.
And so strangers were my friends, old women. My best friend of 23 years till today, she's still my best friend, was one that took me to the hospital when I was in labor. How old was she at the time? Maybe 20. Do you understand? So what that did to me automatically was I learned how to fend for myself or to take care of myself. So my dad, when I went back home, after plenty begging and stuff, so one semester break, I went home. At the time, I already had breast abscess. So I think because they said it was breast engorgement. I was just a child. I just did not know how to care for myself. A child that just had a child. So I couldn't wear a bra for days. I was so big. I was still breastfeeding. So my dad would look at me. He was so broken. So he would look at me and be like, "Your own is finished. Who will marry you like this?" Ooh, even veggies, cha-cha. There are no girls. It's you. You know that kind of thing.
Mm.
Like, nobody's gonna marry you. So now I understand it that it was hurting
Yeah.
because he used to brag about me. I finished school on time, I was very brilliant, I had potentials, I was going to study mass comm, be a newscaster, all of those things, be on TV, so he would brag about me. So seeing your first child be that person, that, so he was just like, nobody will marry you, you are this, you are that. And I think that further deepened or dipped my self-esteem. The one that was already shocked before. So that just totally finished it. And unfortunately for me, I made a resolve in my brain that I would make sure he swallows his words. I will marry and I will become somebody someday and I'll prove him wrong.
Was that conscious or unconscious?
So I think it was two.
Okay.
That time. I don't think I ever said it out loud, but I thought about it in my brain and left it there.
Something just locked, right?
Just locked it. So it came from the conscious and I locked it into my
subconscious. So let me quickly address that thing for people that are listening, right? So there's this thing that's, I ask conscious on subconscious because sometimes we go through experiences, things happen to us, people say things to us, whatever it is, right? And you make some decisions that you're not even aware of subconsciously, and you just lock it. And that is the program that you are running with, because until you make the subconscious conscious, you just think life is happening. You just think everything around you is fate. You are just running with autopilot. You are running with that thing, and that's one of the advantages of healing, because you're going to be able to uncover these things that you have locked. Then will now reprogram for you to now start living the life you want, because sometimes there's no right or wrong, right? It's just what is serving you and what is not serving you. Sometimes these decisions might not be serving you. I'm going to let Lara continue, because we're going to come into that decision you made and how it affected your relationships with men, right? All right, so I just wanted to clear that out.
Thank you. So we call it away from motivation in NLP, neuro-linguistic programming. There's an away to motivation. That is a motivation that serves you, a motivation that is healthy. But this one is away from. It takes you from. Why? Because, like you said, this was what drove all my relationships. That was where Operation Get Married to Prove Daddy Wrong started from. Which was, get married by all means. Even if they say have an abortion, it's okay. Are you marrying me? Yes. So if you told me to have 7 abortions, I wouldn't even think about it twice, because I had a goal. So, and come to think of it, I'd always been a goal-oriented person, even at that age, because I'm still like that now, a goal person. You get. So I think that drove me all my relationships. And then I felt like, because of what my dad said and how I saw myself, I felt like I was already after one. Any man that came across me or dated me was doing me a favor. So that would make me succumb to anything. Tinuke, I did a lot of crazy nonsense back then. I'm telling you, sexually, non-sexual. Because my own was, if I said no,
he'll leave you.
The relationship, he would leave me. Then I wouldn't get married. And so then this further, apart from that also, so because of my family too, my mom made it a big deal. 23, 24, she made it look as if I was 49 years old, I'm saying. So people would just call me, Auntie Lara, that's what the mommy, like,
wow.
Chief, they wanted to pray for me. And they would be casting out demons of singleness. My mom took me to mountain when I was 24, 25. And she took me, we went mountain inside the bush to go and be praying. And one of the prophets came and they asked me to kneel down. They said, and he asked my mom, what is the problem? Kolokoni, she don't get husband. And I was just 24, 25.
Wow.
So that drove that decision or reality to make sure I got married. Because where I come from in that area, girls got married at 24, 23, 24. Doesn't matter who you get married to, whether you're a teacher or an accountant, you are married. So at 25, I was already late. And I was not just late, I had a
A
child.
child.
So it felt like my story was just double crazy. So the good part was that because of these experiences, I learned independence on time.
Mm-hmm.
So thankfully, they took my daughter from me from when she was 6 months. So I was able to go into the world, so to start looking for how to get married. So I was working. I was pretty fortunate when it comes to jobs and money. Of course I paid my dues, worked in Indian companies where I was being paid nothing, sexual abuse, different things. In fact, I was telling someone recently that if it was back then, my story would have full Twitter, because all my bosses wanted to sleep with me. Everybody that came across me just wanted to sleep with me at the time. And you just brush it aside and be like, stop, and you continue your job. So I bought a car at 24. So you should know how, in quotes, successful I looked. Got my own house with my best friend at the time. So it was like marriage, look, we are waiting for marriage. So I kept going from one man to another.
How many heartbreaks did you have again?
14. 14 heartbreaks. A lot of people don't believe it, but it's true. Very true. I had 15 abortions. Thinking about it now, I'm like, I'm just a foolish and stupid person. Because who does that? But that's why sometimes you don't advise people. Because you're advising them on the conscious.
Yes.
They are running a subconscious program. Subconscious is the one pushing them to do. It's already locked into their subconscious. So you'll be saying, oh, well, I've advised him, she's not listening. He's not going to listen. Because of what is pushing him, the program is running. It's deeper than your talk. It's something else that can change it. And that thing has to be on the subconscious level. You get. So that's what happened to me. So I kept following. And if you looked at me outside, I looked so good. But Tinuke, what drove me was I was looking for a husband. Anyway, yes, the church I went to, that I still go to now, 17 years after. The first day I got there, me and my friend were like, there are boys in this church, there are guys. All my conversations were all about men. I'm imagining now how silly I must have been.
Yeah.
It was what I breathed. It was what I lived. It was the food I ate, the drink. And some people are still like that today. Absolutely. Now, when I see people like that around me, it sickens me. Because even men will not come to people like that. It's only desperate men that will come to you to use you and leave you. If all you are thinking about is marriage, nothing else. So I would dress because I wanted men to find me attractive. I would do anything just because I wanted a man. Thank God there was no BBL there. I'm sure I would have done it. I'm telling you, you know why? Because I bought
you had no esteem.
Cream, stretch marks cream. I used a lot of supplements to lose weight, anything to look good.
For the wrong reasons.
For the wrong reasons, because I wanted to be attractive to a man. You understand? I did. Oh, you don't want to know what I did. I did a lot of things, a lot of crazy things. And do not forget, so while I was desperate and looking for a man, I was still a feisty, aggressive girl.
Wow.
So you can see the combination.
Wow.
It was a bad one.
Wow.
Because when a man came, I will still stress him.
You will push him away.
I will frustrate him. And then when he wants to leave, I'll start crying and begging. Why do you want to leave me? I'm a good person. I've done this for you. But the guy's like, but you are a witch.
And you were not doing all these things on purpose.
Never. I wanted to marry. There was no way I could have done any of those things on purpose. So it was just something in me. So I also realized later on that I was just an angry person. I got angry easily. So now whenever I do anything, my husband comes, I say, I beg, I have 14, I beg 15. Just leave me, stop this nonsense. I say, you think I'll be normal? I just say and laugh and run away so that he will leave me alone. But it's funny, but it's kind of true. There's no way you can go through all of that and be normal. And so then also, because there's a conversation going on now, I have a friend of mine that's my life, and he'll be asking me like, how do I? And then I think you to ask me once in a while, how do I get going? Like, I don't know how to stop thinking. The ideas I have in my head. I'm that girl that some people you need to wind them to do something. Me, you need to wind me to stop,
slow down.
Rest, slow down, calm down. So this I had always been, because I had a child. So they took my child from me, but I fended for her. Is that correct English?
Yeah, I remember you said that.
So to the last. So even though she was 2, she was 3, they'll send her out of school. My dad will not pay. So I'll still be the one to pay. Yes, and I probably didn't have a good job at the time. I didn't have money. I was responsible for her. So there was no time to laugh,
down.
to understand. There was no time, no such time. Because somebody depended on me. So I think I still have that now. So, and because what now? They're even now too. So I didn't, how people will be like, oh, I don't have motivation. I will look for the motivation. So even when they are breaking my heart like this, I will cry, when I see that, NEPA light will finish soon. I will clean my eye, and go and do work. Something that will bring money. And I said, house rent is due soon. You get. So, and I was a single mom at least with my daughter for 11 years. So when I met my ex-husband, the guy was I think he was just a good guy that wasn't just meant for me. Because it was this chill, calm guy who just felt, so I started sharing my story then. So look at it. I had started discovering my purpose, but I was still not healed. So I started sharing my story since 2012 on Facebook, but I was still not healed. So I had become a coach at this time. I just had a story like, I went through 14 heartbreaks, 15 abortions, had a child at 19, and then got married. So which made me a thought leader. People liked the story. So churches invited me, a lot of churches. I would go and share my story. I would go and do this, and I would go and do that. I would go and, so I started helping people, started using my head knowledge and stuff like that. So that pattern did not stop, even though I was still a coach. And how did it not stop? Even if I wanted to create a new program, I will ask at least 7 people.
Yeah, because that approval thing was still there. You were still running with it.
Yes. Yes. So, what do you think? What do you think, sir? What do you think? What do you think? Then I had a lot of coaches and mentors. I just felt I needed this one, I needed that one, I needed this person, I needed that person. Why? Just because I didn't feel I was enough. Yes. So that was still there. Then I got married and continued the same pattern. I was aggressive. Oh my goodness. My ex-husband has his own fault too, But me, I can own my own. I was aggressive. I was crazy. I remember when I was pregnant, my mom would tell him, Shama Binu. I think that maybe when she has the child.
That's second pregnancy now?
Yes, with my son. So that all the anger will come out with the blood and water during labor. Because I was literally fighting with everybody, and then also now there was no money. So look at this go-getter. No money, now have 2 kids, had a marriage that I always prayed and wanted. I wasn't happy with. So, which means that a lot of people think, when I have my child, I'll be happy. When I have this job, I'll be happy. When I buy this car, I'll be happy. When I start earning $1 million yearly, I'll be happy. It's not true.
It's not. It's
Happiness
if it's from you,
is an
inside. If
inside
it's not
job.
from inside, yes. So no matter what you get, no matter what you achieve, it will never be enough. You will still keep looking for the next thing. Yeah,
It would never be.
yeah. Mm-hmm.
So it was never enough for me. So I just felt like, even though I had this perfect life outside, I
On
had
the inside.
okay, I had something I called the Complete Singles Club. On Facebook we had over 4,000 followers. I had, that time there was no Instagram when Facebook was
Facebook.
booming. Ha, I was pretty popular, but I was broke and unhappy.
So my next question is, what happened? So this mind, how did you switch? Like, how did you go about changing your mindset? How did you overcome all of these things? What were the specific strategies that you used to come through?
So I think what was my blessing was also my curse.
Mm,
I got tired of being in pain, which is
mm.
why sometimes it looks like I'm not empathetic sometimes towards some people, because I see that you're not tired. You're still making excuses. You're not my client. I
Mm.
like to deal with people that are tired of pain. They're tired of the same cycle. Those people would listen fast. Those people would get help and get results faster.
Faster. Yeah,
You
absolutely.
understand?
Absolutely.
So now that you're a coach,
Absolutely.
So you see, when we have all that meeting, all those people that are always, battling and criticizing, and they're the ones, the least people to get results. So if you are not tired yet, you will get your results faster. You are still thinking, I think it's men. Men are terrible. Men are scum with this Nigeria. It's Lagos boys. I will just move to Abuja. It's Abuja people. It's Ohio boys. I've heard American clients now. They'll tell me, "Oh, in this Texas, no, 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 no."
I
There are no.
know.
So different excuses.
Mm-hmm.
The problem is you. There's a unifying factor. Look at me, 14 heartbreaks. What was the unifying? So all the 14 people are bad. It's not true.
And they are different men, not from the same countries, from the same states. But you just keep
So
attracting that thing that you are
that thing, yes.
first.
So what happened to me was that I just got tired, and I got introduced into knowledge. You understand? I'm trying to remember how that happened. I think it started from, was it 2014 or 15? So, and I had met someone, and the way I talked, he would tell me, "You're so good." Because I was already a coach, I was already churning out stuff, writing stuff. So he'll be like, "You're so deep without even any knowledge. If you learn more, you understand, it would help you." So that's how I started taking all these courses. Hey, it's okay. I started seeing that. And now you're a mess. Hi, look at where your problem started. I started tracing them. So I started getting my identity.
Yeah.
But the curse of that's why I said it's a blessing and a curse. The curse of that, because that affected my marriage. That's why it's so good when you want to learn together. Because I started realizing that, no, this is not the type of marriage I wanted. I chose this marriage based on where I was at the time. And this cannot sustain me to where I want to go. So I started having an open eye. I started learning new things. I started realizing my power. Because I'd always thought after one, that was it. So you are lucky to even get a single man that's never been married before. So I started learning. I started going to therapy, personal development course. So I could say, at the time I was a knowledge junkie. I don't think there was any course around me at that time that I didn't do. And to think that I was very broke. But when there's a will, there's a way. Which is why I still don't somewhat get empathetic towards people. Then, Gajara, you are too expensive. It's okay. You are not my client. You are not ready. When you are ready, you will buy knowledge. Because it's not about the money. It's about what you want to get. So when I did the first one, I saw that, do you understand? Look at what this did to me. Oh my goodness. I'm going for the next one. Any program I went to, and you know how motivational speakers, coaches are. The first one like this, they will tell, I did everything
Everything.
possible around me at the time.
Mm.
So, that kept opening my eye on different levels. So some people, this is the reason why they have done trial to triumph, 4 weeks or 5 weeks, relaxed.
Yes.
I'm not still change. You can't still change because that one is too small to change your whole life. That is just to kickstart your awareness. You've done the healing school. Yes, so I got some relief, but I've relapsed. Of course you will relapse. You have to keep going. You are 40 years old.
It has taken you 40 years to get there.
40 years to get to where you are now. You think it's one 8 weeks program that will change your life? No, you have to keep going. And then there are different layers of the trauma that you are not even aware of.
Absolutely.
At a point, I started discovering that I had financial issues that I had inherited from my mom. I didn't even know that. That was all part of the trauma that I learned.
Yes.
I discovered when I started healing. So I had to go on a journey for that one again.
Yes.
So there are different things that you keep realizing. You could even start realizing that, because at a point I also realized that I was a person who likes to start, but doesn't know how to finish. That's another level. You go for that training again. So I also realized, so then of course I now got serious with my coaching therapy business. So I saw that, one of the reasons why I wasn't making money at the time was not that people were not buying therapy. It was my identity, my self-esteem. I had a low self-esteem. I didn't believe that I was qualified or worthy enough for people to pay me. So I went on a course for that one again. Do you understand? That's how you change.
The more you know, you realize that I don't know anything. And
you don't know anything.
Yeah.
So I get frustrated when I see people. It's only one. It's too expensive. Okay. You still like pain. That's what I tell myself. If you like, I told somebody recently, like, you are so comfortable with your pain. You are romancing.
I'm romancing your pain, as I always say that. You are
romancing your pain. You're so comfortable with your pain. You are excusing it. You understand? It's because there's no money. If there's money, no, it's not money. Because if you are really interested, the money will show. I cannot tell you how many things I did back then. I tried barter. You understand? With these coaches. Back then, please, I will be your content creator. Me, I was already a coach. I will market for you.
Yes.
Because I needed this thing. So for me, it wasn't even about my coaching business or anything. It was about me. I just wanted my life to change.
Absolutely.
So when you have been in darkness for so long and you see one small light, naturally, if you have sense, you will keep pursuing it because you want the light to get bigger. So many people don't have sense. I'm telling you. Why? And it's not also their fault. It's because of how they have also been raised. So, and that's another thing. Because we, especially Africans, we are raised with scarcity mindset. We see money as such a big deal. Hey! 700,000. Kilonko. What are they teaching? Money is paper.
Yeah.
It is a tool to get what you want. It is not, money is not it's a means to an end. It's not the end. It is a tool to get what you want in life. That is why I can pay a lot of money to go on vacation. Because when I go on vacation, I'll be well rested. I would, have new knowledge. I would be more innovative. That is the goal. So how much is 2 million to get that? But some people be like, hey, 2 million! Sorry, guys, I'm so
and start thinking of all the problems that 2 million will solve. Not realizing that it's your fault that's even creating the problem in the first place.
So that is scarcity mindset.
Yeah.
So I had to even go on a journey to break down one too. That scarcity mindset. Because that one.
It's always like it's an onion, layer upon layer. It's always have to.
That is it.
Layer by layer.
That is it. So if you think that I've done 1 8 weeks, I've done 1 10 weeks, I've done one. You think, oh, I'm fine. People has been there's somebody that always says, I've done therapy. I'm like, you have not done therapy, my sister. You've only done healing school. You've done 8 weeks. It's not therapy.
That's not it.
It's that
Okay.
is introduction. I have people that have been with me for 2 years straight.
Present.
Yes, so you're part of them. Some people 18 months. Because you keep, in fact, there's a woman, she's done everything. She's done healing school of identity, school of the mind, healing coaching, and now she's just on inner circle, that one that we do and renew every 3 months. And so she was saying that, that is 1 year after that, I can now start using all those tools.
Yes.
That's when it starts making sense. So imagine she has done one and run away. And most of the people who do just that 8 weeks, or I tell them it's like a drug. You've been so ill, they give you one drop, pain relief. You will get instant relief.
Yes.
I give you 6 months. Pause. You will relapse. You will go back. Therapy is not a one-shot thing. It's not immunization. You get something that you have to keep doing, you get. So I realized that these were the problems I was having. Even relationship, I started attending relationship programs. So you have to keep going for different aspects of your life.
Yes,
that is the problem that a lot of people have. You think that, this one, because as you are learning, you too, you've done all these things. You've even done with different coaches, different therapists. You will not realize that, there's another problem here that you were never aware of it.
Yes. But, and for us that grew up in Nigeria, one of the things that also affects us is religion.
Yeah.
That's another topic for another day, but
thank you.
It's
really, I
know it's religion. I know that's a whole course on its own. It's religion. Like this thing that you just said, you have to keep identifying different areas of your life that you need to work on. That's how you can get help. It's not one course, one program is not going to solve everything. Like you said, it's just going to give you lights to see. Then you can now shine that touch in every area of your life, because the way we are programmed, a lot of us don't realize how it affects us. The way we are programmed, we don't. We just, and there's something that I learned, that without an intervention, I think it's 85% or 90% of the time, you recreate your parents' marriage without an intervention. It's the same thing that happened to your mother. No matter how much you fight it, it will never be me. So I attended the course one time, and one of the participants asked the question, and he said, the way he was raised, right? His parents got divorced, so he was raised by his dad, and he said he fought so much not to be like his dad that he even went to study psychology on top of this matter. That was the reason why he went to study psychology for his BSc, and he still ended up being like his dad. So why? What is that thing? And the person was like, it's because it's what you know. You are only going to produce what you know. So he started saying the traits of his dad.
Familiar.
Yes, he started saying the traits of his dad and what he was doing, how he couldn't keep it. He was so mean, he was so this. So we basically had to start teaching him all over again. Start doing this. How do you spend your time alone? So you now have to basically unlearn and then learn new things. You can actually reparent yourself. The things that you did not get as a child, you can do it for yourself. I take myself to the park. I'll go and be swinging. Go and play with mud. You can literally reparent yourself. I remember one of my clients that I said, that's like, how? What? Those things that you did not hear as a child that has affected you, that you wish you heard, or that you always long for, especially us as women. That's why we settle for crumbs in relationships.
Yeah.
Sometimes this guy is just telling you how much he loves you, but because you did not hear that growing up, that is all that you are looking for. Meanwhile, being able to provide for you, being able to lead you, being able to do certain things, he cannot. But you are settling for it. Doesn't have the capacity.
Yes.
But because he's saying that, I worked with someone that said her ex used to beat her to stupor. But she could not leave, because when he beat her, he would take care of her, he would tell her sorry, he would buy her gifts, but she could not leave. And that was because growing up as a child, her father, her brothers would always beat her. And they beat her and shout at her. So that the fact that this guy is doing something extra on top of the beating, she was okay with it until she almost lost her life before she woke up. Right? So that thing is that thing that is familiar. You would always attract the familiar, no matter how hard you try. First of
Yes.
all,
So
it's
let
not.
me explain my own familiar to you.
Mhm,
So, like I told you, the money thing.
mhm.
When I was younger, my mom used to ajo money, all those things. They'll come and shout, and I didn't like it. But I realized I started owing too. And I got
Mm.
yeah,
Wow.
yeah. Like it was bad that when I was in the bank, I was working in the bank, and bank in Nigeria then they enabled
All the
luxury.
loans.
Yes, I bought my car on a loan. You can pay for anything in 3 months. So I remember buying a DVD of 6,000 and issuing check to pay 3 times because they just allowed me. It was so convenient.
Wow.
Yes. So I realized I was so, and every year my prayer request in church was, God, I don't want to owe this year. I don't want to owe this year, but I ended up owing. So I
Because
went
the
to my job
pattern.
to deal with that. Secondly, my mom was pretty aggressive with me until I realized I started slapping my daughter. I started shouting. Something I detested when I was younger. I realized that I started doing it too. So that was the familiar. Of course, the approval syndrome was also the familiar for me. So you have to go on your journey all the time. You don't, especially if you call yourself a coach, you have only done one class. You're not ready. You're only done 2, 3. You're not yet a coach. You understand? Because I was telling my husband, my mentor this morning that, okay, so I was listening to a message and I'm liking it. It's a spiritual message. And the person was saying that if you say you're a Christian, you're walking in the miraculous, where is your signs and wonders? Where is it? You are saying you are broke. It's because you are not giving value. If there are signs and wonders, people will pay
Look for you.
anything to find you. People will break protocol to look for you. So I translated it to coaching or therapy or whatever you're doing. If you don't have results, and then where does the result start from? It's from your own life.
Yes.
Which seemed to be the reason why I seem to have a lot of people, do you understand, in my kitty as clients, because you can, first of all, I have showed and demonstrated how this thing has worked for me in my own life. So if you are a coach, the things you have learned or you are learning, they are not working for you. You are still aggressive, you are still rude, you are still feisty, you are still broke. You are still, do you understand? You don't have signs and wonders yet.
Yeah.
And
I think another area where people struggle is knowledge. We just think knowledge is once you know. If you don't apply it, nothing's going to change.
Applied knowledge.
Yeah, it's power.
Changes your life. It's not just knowledge. So, it's like, I tell myself all the time. That's why my therapy seems to be very relatable.
Yes.
Because I always share my own experiences. My own story, and it's not even about the abortion 15 outbreaks, like other things, peripheral things that can affect you as my client. When I'm dealing with you, I'll tell, because if I can use it for me, then I can use it for you.
One question I wanted to ask.
Okay.
So I was having a conversation with someone this past week actually, and there was a debate about what therapy is and what coaching is now. This person I was talking to, so the argument was, I do need to go to my past. Once I know what I want for my life, once I know the future that I want, I can work towards it. So I was like, nope, your past has programmed you. So the thing is, you are like, your life is like a thermostat. It has been set to say 75.
Yes.
Right? Whatever happens in your life, let's say somebody comes in and says, oh, it's hot here, you open the window, breeze comes in, or whatever happens, and that thing should change from 75 to another number, until you would do everything subconsciously to bring it back to 75. If before your eye will open. So for example, scarcity mindset, finances, you are only used to having 1 million. If somebody that's why people that win the lottery never become successful from it. They become broke right after, because they don't have we're so focused as human beings on doing than being. Like, you need to become first. If I give you 1 million now, you're not a millionaire. You only have 1 million.
Yes.
Because most times, until that 1 million should finish, your eye will not open. That's when you remember that the joy in your house is bad. That's when you remember that you want to fix something, you want to do something. Until that 1 million naira should finish, your eye will
Yes.
never clear. So, like, so that was the argument, right? So please help us. Like, so for people like that are struggling with, why do I need to revisit my past? Why do I need to go back to my childhood? Why do I need to do this? I know what I want for my life. Why can't I just walk towards it? Help us.
So, because when you say I don't have to go back to my past, I can just, it means that you want to change your life on the conscious. 95% of your results and realities is from your subconscious, and your subconscious, is what directs your life. And your subconscious was programmed from childhood. So there are some people that one of the problems you have is that, look at what I'm saying, I'm owing money. All the advice I got, you understand, live within your means, and don't buy beyond your this one, don't buy beyond your this one, don't do this. Do you understand? It would never have worked. I tried everything, but because for me, what I was used to seeing was to buy things on credit gradually. That was how to be rich. Thank God I was never in the US. I'm sure they'll come and arrest me one day when all my credit cards are finished. Do you understand? So, how was I going to correct that on the conscious? You too, you are taking too much than you can handle. Reduce your load, reduce your thing. Yes, I will hear it. But subconsciously, I would, because it's autopilot.
Yeah.
Something will happen. It could even be a sickness that will make me go and borrow again. That is how the subconscious works. I just read somebody's assignment today. Is for the healing, the school of the mind, and she was saying that this week we're talking about comfort zone, repression, and suppression. So she was saying one of her comfort zone is that she was always late, or she's always late. So she said that she'll wake up early, but she'll end up getting late. That it now got so bad that something would happen, like reasonable, genuine things. That's the subconscious for you. It creates environment for that trauma to continue. So you think you can, I don't need to go back to my past, it's too painful, it's too deep, it's too that. You think, okay, now I just want to start, all these 21 days habit for me. They work. Do you understand? Look at the fact that I wanted to get married. Do you know the advice I got? Maybe tone down your dressing. Maybe don't be too flashy. Maybe don't be too this one. Do you understand? Maybe that's what people will tell you. I have done everything. But it has not changed. What you have done is on the conscious. What you have done, you have not really traced the problem. If you don't trace the problem, you will keep treating the symptoms. You won't treat the root.
Yes.
So it will keep reproducing in different aspects of your life. So it was when I traced it that, I was trying to get married to prove that you wrong. So it made sense to me to now say, okay, now how do you deface that? Lara, be single for a while, no marriage, reset yourself, restate your values. If I didn't know that, I'll just keep thinking men are bad. Men don't like single women, single moms, because that's another thing that I'm hearing these days. Men, Lara, I don't know how you got so lucky. I said I got lucky twice.
Twice, exactly.
You don't, because men don't like single women. I don't have a choice. I must date, single women. We are left with no choice other than to date married men. Romance, yeah. Romancing your pain. Making excuses for it. You get what I mean? So that is the reason why you have to. It's like if you are saying, I don't need to go back, you are treating the leaves on the tree,
not the roots.
Not the root of the tree. So the problem will persist. So if you treat the leaf, that part may heal, another one will spring forth. It's like you have cancer. It can give you headache tomorrow. It can give you stomach ache. So if you treat headache may go, stomach ache will come again. Do you understand? Vomiting will come again. Losing hair will come until you treat the real cancer fruit. route. You get what I mean? So
Mm-hmm.
that's why.
Thank you so much. That was, yeah, that was very insightful. I just wanted everybody to hear again. So last question. Wait, let me just confirm that people don't have questions. If you have questions, because
Last
I'll be
question.
asking, please, if you have questions, please drop your questions. Please drop your questions so that we can answer. But me, I still have a question. So for anyone that is struggling, for anyone that is still wondering, how do I do it? Where do I start from? I know we've said, I just want to do a quick recap on what we
Mhm.
have learned so far. Rephrase. First off, please, no one is coming to save you.
Ah,
It's only you that can save yourself. Nobody's going to save you. It's not your wife, not your husband, not your mom. No, only you. So it's how bad, how tired are you of that pain that you are going through? How bad do you want to change your life? For me, I know I always share my story about the loss of my son. My pain drove me there, and I was just tired of that autopilot. I was sharing at a gathering that I was invited to, and how when I lost my son, my friend invited me for a party. She just trying to cheer me up and stuff. Do you know, I got to the party and I realized that I was wearing two different shoes.
hey.
That's how absent-minded I had become. That's how messed up I got to the party. I'm not even joking. It was this pajama set now. And I looked down and I saw that I was wearing two different shoes, two different, like, pain is real and it controls you. It's not, whatever has happened can be bad, but you can take charge of it. You can I don't know the English to use because it's always but only you can save yourself. Only you can save yourself. Two, please get a coach or a mentor. Right. Um every Everything that Coach Lara has said, she went through a journey, right? She got a coach, right? And I did same too to help me out of it. It's not something you can do on your own. You can know certain things, but you might not be able to implement it on your own. You can watch. There's a video that someone sent to me to watch, and when I started this coaching thing, and my coach made me watch this video again, the meaning was totally
Yes,
different. With
yes,
like,
yes.
please
Absolutely.
get a coach that you can pay, because you can say you have a mentor that you're asking questions and this person is only going to attend to you when they have time. If you are paying for it, you would, even you would respect it more. When you are paying, when it's free, you won't appreciate it sometimes. So please get a coach, get a mentor, come into my DM, let's work together to heal, right?
Yes.
Take every day as it comes and work towards your goal. That thing that you want to do, work towards it. This is obviously after you have healed, right?
Mhm.
Um, like, coach, remember something you said, that the motivation that you needed was your children to
Yeah,
succeed, because
yeah,
they cannot suffer, right? So
yes,
sometimes you don't always need this thought of your goals and dreams should keep you up and make you take actions.
yes.
Self-discipline is also very important. We want to do this, you want to do this, you also have to be very disciplined to be able to do them. What else did I write? Your network is very important, because if you are single, like, I know when you were a single mom, for example, all your friends were probably single as well, or going through issues in their marriages as well, and all of us will just be romancing our pain. Yeah, it's a normal thing. This is
Yeah.
everywhere. You will now begin
In
to
fact,
normalize
single mom is
nonsense.
live single mom. Even when I was married the first time and I was unhappy, so all
Mhm.
my friends too, yeah, your own is better. You know,
Yes,
in
yes.
healing school, we talk about that in
Mm-hmm.
that module.
Mm-hmm.
We are many.
We are many. This,
Wrong
yes,
response to pain.
to pain.
You know, we are
Yes.
many. Oh, it's not that's how men are, but that's how marriage is. You just the manager. All of us just the rough.
So please, it's not normal. And also understand that your mind, your thoughts creates your life. Whatever you are thinking of is what. So, sorry, let me not preach, but
It's
that
okay.
thing that you fear the most is what would always happen. That thing that you want the most. So it's like, when the student is ready, the child will always appear. If you want
Mhm.
something and you think about it enough, so bad, it would, even if it doesn't happen immediately, opportunities, you will start seeing opportunities that would create that thing. It's just one person that you would have access to all of a sudden, and talk about it and you get answers. So your mind is very powerful, and everything that you have been through, your childhood is has programmed you subconsciously, and that's why you are producing what you are producing now, like, as an adult, right? So
Mhm.
it's the lens through which you see the world. It's the lens through which everything appeals to you. So if you are going through something that you are not happy with or that you don't like in your marriage, in every area of your life, you can undo it and reprogram it to what you want. I hope this helps everyone. Thank you so much, Coach. So last question to wrap this up. If you were going to look back and talk to Lara of 10 years ago, what would you say to her?
10 years ago, don't marry. You don't need to be under pressure to marry. Wait a little while before you got married. Wait to have your own identity before you got married. Wait to heal completely before you got married. Because I got married the first time. Oh, okay, 11 years ago. So, wait till before you got married. Stop trying to please your dad or prove him wrong. Nobody really cares about you like you think. People, life is fickle. People are just living their lives. You think they are focused and fixated on you. No, not true. Because those were the things that used to bother me then. Oh, they are talking about me. Oh, what will this one say? Hey, that one is saying this. Nobody really cares. They will gossip it and move on to their own problems, their own real life problems. So don't fixate, on what people are thinking or saying about you. Then you're actually going to be rich, Lara. It's just a matter of your mind, just calm down and stop working so hard. Yeah, I think that's what I'll tell.
Thank
Lala.
you.
You're welcome.
Thank you so much. Thank you for your time. Thank you for agreeing to do this. This was so insightful. I hope this helped everyone. Thank you so much for joining, everyone. The replay will be on our YouTube channel. I will post when it's up, so you can watch over and over, so that you can keep learning these things. Please, if you're going through anything and you need to talk to someone, please send me a DM so that we can start work on your healing journey. Healing is very important. Please don't take it for granted. A lot of times, when someone is sick physically, you can feel the pain. You know where it's paining, but when it's your emotions, you don't know where it is. That's why we always overlook it, and that's the most important thing that we overlook, especially when it's emotions that you can't see and you don't know. So please don't take it lightly. Send me a DM and let's work together to heal and live life as God has created us to actually live life. Life is meant to be enjoyed, not endured. Your relationships, your job, you're supposed to enjoy it and not endure it. So thank you so much, everyone. Thank you. God bless you, Coach. Thank you for doing this with me. Thank you.
Thank you.
All right. Have a great weekend, everyone. See you next month. Thank you. Bye, everyone.